Yo guys, I'm Nvme and welcome back to another Dying Light the Beast video. In today's video I'm going to be going over all of the craftable weapons that you can craft on the workbench. I'll be explaining all the weapons on the weapons tab, giving you guys the stats, letting you guys know which ones are the best, as well as how you can get some of them. Now before I continue this video, I'd like to ask you guys to please drop me a quick like because this took me a while to make, and also consider subscribing for more useful and interesting Dying Light the Beast content. And lastly, a special thank you to all the members on my channel. But with all that being said, let's get right into the video. Now starting off with the Break Knuckles. These are knuckle dusters which you can find at the abandoned house safe zone in the national park area. These should be right here on the workbench. It has one mod slot and a fixed stat which gives you an increase of stamina regeneration after every kill by 20%. Now this is pretty useful because it will regenerate your stamina very quickly after each kill, allowing you to get back into the fight. It also has two other stats that are random. Now next up we have the slashers, which are also a knuckle duster type weapon. These can be found at the groundskeeper's house safe zone in the villa area. They should also be on the workbench at that safe zone as well. Now these have a fixed stat that grants you increased damage for knuckle dusters by 8%. And obviously they also have two other random stats. It also has one mod slot, and back to the stat, this one makes the slasher the better knuckle dusters out of the two. Now moving on to one-handed weapons. The first one we have is the beaver stick. Now this is a weapon that you can get, in Castor Woods. However, the process is a bit, time consuming, so I'm not going to show you guys how you can get it. However, I did make a video on how you can get it, so you guys can check that out in the description. Or you guys can wait and I'll, show you the two videos that you guys can check out at the end of this video. But anyways, back to the weapon. It has no mod slots, so the damage is, limited. And there are two versions of this weapon. There's the irreparable version, which is the version that you collect when you're trying to get this weapon in Castor Woods. Now this version gives you a stat of 100% knockdown chance, meaning that you'll knock down zombies 100% of the time. However, the crafted version only gives you 20%. And the weapon of course has two random stats that you get. So yeah, it's nothing crazy, but it is pretty interesting to use and pretty fun if you like knocking down zombies. But now next up we got the Chupaga, which is an amazing and really cool weapon. You can find this weapon at this location right here, and it will be at this cabin. What you want to do is get to the balcony, which is at sort of the top floor. And it is a bit tricky to get up here, but once you do get up here, you'll find it hanging above the door frame. Now the weapon itself deals a good amount of damage, but has no mod slots. However, it has these specific stats, and one that is really cool is the weapon throw power. Now for those of you who don't know, this weapon has a special ability where if you throw it, it'll come back to you. Sort of like Kratos' axe. Now this weapon has these three fixed stats. However, when you compare them with the crafted and the irreparable one has double. So yeah, it's a pretty cool weapon, and if you're looting stuff as well, it'll give you more loot. But next up we got the extinguisher, which you can get from the library tower safe zone in Old Town. This one's also at the workbench, and this weapon deals the same amount of damage, but has 3 mod slots, so it's more of a better weapon. And it has a fixed stat of 15% stamina damage. Now with the stat, this pretty much means that you can get those executions in very quickly and more frequently. But now moving on, we have the Haran Combat Knife, which is a knife that you can get from the Hero of Haran bundle. Now the bundle itself, you get it for pre-ordering Dying Light the Beast, so if you haven't pre-ordered it, then you can't get it. Now the weapon itself is a small knife that deals, less damage because it's a small knife. And it has a stat where it increases damage by 33% only when you're attacking from behind. Now me personally, I'm never finding myself attacking from the back, so it's kind of useless to me, and it also has no mod slots, so you can't improve upon it. But next up we have the Aiga. The Aiga is a legendary weapon that you can find in Castor Woods, and it is located at this house in this area, the villa area, and all you gotta do is get to the attic of this house. You'll find it hanging right here. Now the weapon deals a moderate amount of damage like the rest of them, and it also has no mod slots. However, there are two versions, the irreparable one and the crafted one. Now the irreparable one gives you a 100% enemy hit reaction, while the craftable one gives you a 50% instead. Now to be honest, I'm not entirely sure what this does, because I've tested it and despite it saying 100% enemy hit reaction, I don't really get a reaction even when they're attacking me. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure what this means or what it does, but hey, maybe you guys can tell me in the comments. Now moving on, we got the Reforged Khanjar. This one you can find at the town hall after you save it for the first time. It should be in this area right here. Now the weapon deals a moderate amount of damage, but it has 3 mod slots, so you can improve the damage, and has a fixed stat of reduced stamina cost from melee weapons by 7.5%, meaning that you can swing this weapon longer without running out of stamina too quickly. And because it has 3 mod slots, you can increase the damage and fight tougher infected. Now next up we have the Strauss and Brada Machete. This one is a secret legendary weapon that you can get from this location right here. What you want to do is get to the roof of this location and get inside the little building. Inside here you'll find a medicine cabinet that you'll try to open but won't be able to. What you want to do is try to open it and continue trying 77 times, or maybe it's 78, I'm not entirely sure. But once you do finally get it open, you'll find the weapon right there for you to collect. Now this one has two versions, the irreparable version and the crafted one. And the irreparable version gives you a 100% dismemberment stat, while the crafted one only gives you 10%. So yeah, this one probably would have been great for the, limbs challenge event. However, I kind of didn't know about this stat. Now the weapon itself also has 3 mod slots, so you can actually increase the damage. But not only that, it has a special little feature. When you attack enemies with it, it'll give you like these notes. Now next up we have the tempered crowbar. Now this one you can find the legendary blueprint of it right here in this location. It'll be at the sewage treatment plant, and what you want to do is get to the top of the highest silo. You'll find it right here in this area, and the cool thing about it is that it is a blueprint that is already legendary, so you don't have to upgrade it or anything. Now when you craft it, it deals more damage than any weapon of its type, but not only that, it gives you these specific stats, which are actually pretty good. It doesn't have any mod slots, but either way, it is still probably one of the best weapons that you can get in Dying Light the Beast. And because it's a weapon that you can get very early on in Dying Light the Beast, it is also one of the best early weapons in the game. Now next up we have the Breslau Blade. This one you can get from this statue in front of the town hall. All you gotta do is shoot all of these insignias, or I'm not really sure what they're called, but all you gotta do is shoot them or destroy them, and simply follow what I'm doing on screen. Alright, now that you've destroyed all of them, all you gotta do is interact with the statue, and you will get this firecracker celebration. Now what you want to do is wait for the celebration, and then climb up and collect it from the statue. Now once again, we got two versions, the irreparable and the crafted one. Now the irreparable version gives you a fixed stat that increases damage to infected at night by 10%. However, the crafted one gives you 7.5%. Not only that, it also has 3 mod slots, making it probably one of the best weapons to use against zombies at night. Now next up we have the Slicer, which is a weapon from the Twitch drops. Now the cool thing about this is that you can still get this, and all you gotta do is find someone who already has it and have them drop it for you. When they drop it for you and you pick it up, you'll obviously get the weapon, but you'll also get the blueprint for it. So you can pretty much craft it whenever you want. Now as for the weapon, it deals a low amount of damage because it's a knife, and it has a fixed stat of 50% increase in backstabbing damage, along with 2 random stats as well. Now once again, not a very good weapon, but it is better than the previous one that I've talked about. Now moving on to the 1.5-handed weapons. The first one we have is the EXP Caliber, the second. Now this one is a secret weapon, and the process is also a bit long to explain, so you guys can wait to, check out the video at the end of this one. But anyways, back to the weapon itself. It is a beautiful looking sword, in my opinion probably the best looking one in the game, and has a fixed stat where it'll give you 10% more XP if you get the irreparable version. Now for the crafted one, it is only 5%. Now I'm not entirely sure if this one will be very useful because the process to get it is very tedious, and I'm pretty sure you guys will probably be max level by then. But either way, it's a really cool looking weapon and one that I would highly recommend you get. Now next up we got the Good Night Bat, which you can find at this silo safe zone in the farmlands area. Now the bat has a fixed stat of 15% increase in damage for power attacks, along with 2 other random stats. It also has 3 mod slots, making it a really good 1.5-handed weapon to use. And not only that, it looks really cool. Like, I really love this design. Now up next we got the Spectral Baseball Bat. Now this one you can get from the Pilgrim Outpost. I'm not entirely sure if you can still get it. But either way, this weapon is a famous bat from the previous 2 games. It was mainly famous from the first game because it flung zombies so far and it was so much fun to use. However, for Dying Light 2 and Dying Light the Beast, it is a bit of a disappointment. It doesn't fling zombies like in Dying Light 1, and it has a fixed stat of a 15% increase in damage for power attacks, along with 2 random stats. It It also has no mod slot, so it's not really a good weapon to use. But next up we got the Rust, which can be found at the Highway Bus Refuge Safe Zone. The safe zone is located in the Industrial Zone, and when you craft this weapon, it has a fixed stat of 4% critical strike chance. It also has 3 mod slots, making it one of the better weapons of its type to use. Now because of the critical strike chance, I highly recommend you use crit mods, since this will pretty much guarantee that you get one off almost every attack. Or at least, for most attacks. But moving on, we got the Burning Wolf Axe. Now this one was a special reward for people who played for like 4 hours during a certain window after launch. Now the cool thing about it is that you can still get it if you have someone who already has it. You can just have them drop it for you and pick it up to get not only the weapon, but also the blueprint for it so that you can craft it whenever you want. Now its special stat is a 7% power attack critical strike chance. Now this one's really good because it also has 3 mod slots, so if you use crit mods and use only heavy power attacks, you have a very good chance of getting a crit mod activated. Not only that, the weapon itself looks really cool. Like, I love the design, the idea behind it. It just looks really cool. But moving on, we have the Double Trouble. This one you can find at the Exile's Cave, right here on the chair in front of the workbench. Now the weapon deals the same amount of damage as the others, and also has the same fixed stat that the Burning Wolf Axe has. It also has 3 mod slots, so it's pretty much the same thing, aside from, the design. And here we have the Workout. This one you can find at this safe zone, called the Old Hideout. The weapon has a fixed stat of 8% damage resistance, which in my opinion is a really good stat, and it also has 3 mod slots as well. So if you're someone who wants to build like, a tank kind of setup, this is a weapon that you want to be using. And moving on to the last type, we have the ranged weapons. The first one we have is the Blue Heat Assault Rifle. This one is part of the Twitch drops, the same as like the Slicer. So you can get this weapon if someone else has it and they drop it for you. Now the gun deals the same amount of damage as the best assault rifle in the game, which for those of you who don't know is the Eraser. However, unlike the Eraser, it doesn't have a scope and uses the iron sights instead. So yeah, the damage, the magazine, all that kind of stuff is the same. However, it doesn't have the scope that the Eraser has. And next up we have the Flame Thrower. This one you can get by leveling up and getting the skill to craft it. Now it is an amazing weapon, dealing a lot of damage, especially to a crowd of zombies. However, the fuel isn't cheap, and it runs out fairly quickly, so you gotta be, careful when using this. Like if you have the fuel and resin, then it is a good one to use, but if you don't, then I highly recommend only using it for crowds. But next up we have the Grenade Launcher. This one is the same concept, you gotta rank up and get the skill to craft it, and it has 5 types of grenades. Now to put it simple, there's only 2 that I'd highly recommend you use, and those are the Incendiary and the Shock Grenades. These in my opinion are the best, and the rest are either not that worth it or not that good. Alright, up next we got the Hellhound Shotgun, which was also granted to those who played for 4 hours at launch. And yes, you can get this one if someone else drops it for you. However, the shotgun itself deals less damage than the best shotgun in the game, which is the Statement Shotgun by the way. It also has 5 shots instead of 7, along with no scope. So yeah, the only kind of good thing about it is the skin, but other than that, it's a bit of a downgrade. Alright, now here we have the Hunting Bow. This one you can get at the start of the game at the Monastery, and there's not really any other craftable bows that I can compare it to. And since there's not really like another legendary bow, I can't really compare it to anything else in the game. I mean, if I compare it to the lower rarity bows, it deals more damage, so I guess it is kind of the best bow in the game. Now up next we've got the Injade's Memory Pistol, which is from the Hero of Haran bundle. Now when you compare it to the best pistol in the game, there's not really a difference. It's pretty much the same thing. Same amount of damage, same ammo capacity, and same sight. So yeah, the only difference is the skin, and that's about it. Alright, now up next we got the Saw Blade Launcher, which you can find at the Silos Safe Zone, where you also get the Goodnight Bat. Now once you craft this weapon and use it, it does deal a good amount of damage. However, the ammo is a bit costly in my opinion, and it doesn't exactly take down the bigger infected very quickly. It does one shot most of the enemies. However, the ammo doesn't really make it worth it. So in my opinion, I would just either use a gun or anything else. Alright, now up next we got the Survivalist SMG, which is from the Prepper bundle. Now the SMG is not better than the best SMG in the game. It's pretty much the same thing. Same damage, same ammo capacity, and same iron sights. So yeah, in comparison, there's nothing really better. I mean, it does look different, but in my opinion, it is not worth getting the bundle for. And lastly, we have the Follower Crossbow, which is from the Hero of Haran bundle. Now when we compare it to the best crossbow in the game, the Piercer, which you have a chance to get from the vendor, it deals the same amount of damage. However, the Follower Crossbow has iron sights, but the Piercer has a scope. So yeah, if that matters to you, then I guess the Piercer is better. But in terms of damage, it's pretty much the same thing. Alright, now anyways, that's it for the video. If you guys want to get some of these weapons, make sure to check out these two videos right here. But other than that, thank you for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.